What's going on, Axie fam? Elijah here, back with another video, and today I have got a juicy one for you. We're going to be taking a look at beast compositions and ways that you can create a really sick team on a budget. These are exciting times. We're approaching the end of the season, and before we jump into this video, if you guys love the content and want to support the channel, just make sure to use code Elijah when you're checking out in the marketplace. It is much appreciated. And a big thank you to all of the ones out there who are already using my code. Okay, so here's the situation. We pushed up into the top 25 last night with this beast team I'm going to show you today. Then we took some hits and dropped back down. Now we're 66th. What's crazy is that when you get up in here, it is all insane aggro teams. I didn't really face any poison or sustain up there, which is unfortunate for my team because it does so good against those. I also don't have out the fully cracked version like all these other guys in the top 5. They're running Endless Anger. That should tell you something about how powerful beasts are, Fury form is, and how this mechanism is probably a little bit broken. As you can see, beyond the top 5, you just have an infinite stream of Bloodlust. You finally see poison at rank 17, but it's a little slow these days, I'm not gonna lie to you, and especially with the Rise and Ruin on the back, you'll probably make a really nice climb, but not top 50, I would say. It's just too slow. In the beginning of the season, it was great because I had much more time, but now everyone's team is just completely bananas. Once we're out of top 25, okay, we're getting a little bit of sustain going here, right? And I'm gonna give it another go today. I also probably played a little too much. It was getting late and I kept queuing because I was just addicted to this team. I went on like a 10-game win streak initially. So I'm gonna show you what I'm doing, then show you a budget team, then show you some incredible arena matches. Okay, so Axie has been good to us. We've been fortunate enough to go out and purchase a Gaia's Embrace. It was half an Ethereum, absolutely crazy, but it's season 0 and I don't splurge on anything in my life other than Axie, so I just wanted to grab it, give me that extra HP, but I'm gonna share with you what to do without this rune, okay? It's not absolutely essential. Now we have Pangolin up front, completely standard, probably the best front lane rune you can have. Beasts have really nice skill sets. Automatically you take 15% less damage. You max this out with as much vitality as possible, but I've also tacked on a Mask of Frenzy on Shiba, so when I play that I gain 5 rage across my entire team. Yes, 5. Super strong to sacrifice a little HP and have one of those at the front. As far as the moveset now, you're gonna notice a theme here. I made sure to get a plant that had at least 4 beast points so that I could tack on another Mask of Frenzy on here. I put it on Little Peas, obviously, as that's the card I'm pretty much always going to want to play. The rest is gonna be HP. And lastly, my backliner. What a beautiful Axie. He's got Tiny Dino. This is sort of the X factor for me that I retain this. Normally some card draw is nice. I don't have any on this team. Maybe I'll switch something out later on, but because of that, at least I have this card that will always remain in my hand until I use it. So when I get that burst of extra energy from going into Fury form, I'm not empty-handed. Now we have 3 Mask of Frenzies, 2 on the Nutcracker cards, 1 on Little Peas. So we're at 5 masks, and I think this is around the essential number that you're gonna need if you're not running Endless Anger. So if you're doing a more budget version, and in some ways this is more budget because Endless Anger is going to be like over an Ethereum, and I didn't buy that. I'm just chilling right now. I'm not fully committed to finishing the season with beasts. I still want to try some other stuff, so I'm not out there rushing to get Endless Anger, and therefore I've elected Reckless Hunter, which is what I would suggest that all of you use. It's very affordable on the marketplace. It's like $4 right now. The other key note about whatever composition you create, you need Confident twice if you do not have Endless Anger. Once is not enough. There's going to be too many games where you don't get the Shiba value up front, and then it's like really slow to get to Fury form on your backline. Now having Confident and Shiba up front gives me an extra boost of rage stacks one way or another. If I draw Confident, I put 2 on the back. If I draw Shiba and I'm below 75% HP, well then hallelujah, everyone gets a bunch of rage stacks. But I have choices. I even have a 3rd out in Zeal, which can push up either Confident or Shiba to the top of my deck. It banishes as well, so does the Carrot, so does the Rosa, so the deck thins out, and this is more or less a really balanced beast plant comp. Now let's jump into the budget option, which I would suggest for those who aren't running Gaia's Embrace, and that's simply gonna be another Pango Beast at the mid. If it's so good up front, why not double down and throw one at the midline position? Pangolin is also one of those runes that's affordable. I think it's 14 bucks right now. So in that situation, you're gonna wanna filter the front with Confident and Shiba, two essential cards. You can look around here, make sure you don't buy a Pangolin Axie that has a shield on it because you will gain no shield from the rune. Now the first one that catches my eye here is gonna be this guy with Shiba and Little Branch. Two costs are actually very nice right now. There's a lot of times where you're either disabled or you draw like two Confidence, for instance, and having those two cost cards to balance it out really helps you make sure you can execute and use all your energy. Now this is gonna be the most expensive Axie out of the team that I'm throwing together. It would be $59, but even something like this could work as a starting point, 53 bucks. It's not the perfect move set, don't get me wrong. We don't really love Kingfisher, we don't really love Swirl, but if you're just trying to get started, Arco's a great card. You have your Shiba, you have Zeal to push Shiba to the top of the deck, and it's right near the floor of the Axies we're looking at. It's definitely the best out of this first line. So in theory, let's just say this is the front line for the hypothetical team. Let's move on to the mid lane position. And the skills we need, again, is Confident. We need that twice. Cottontail, I think, is a great choice here if you're running 3 beasts. It doesn't hurt to have one of those in your deck. Hero's a really nice one to have for that card draw. And then we have Ronin, another really good one for the mid. Because the way that these combinations stack, and because there's a good chance that your midliner also goes into Fury form, given that we have Shiba and a bunch of Mask of Frenzies, it doesn't hurt to have Ronin twice on your team. Just looking through here, if I was on an extreme budget, I would grab this guy with the confused eyes. Yeah, he's not perfect, but hey, why not? It's a random eye card, it's a single nut, but you know what? We have our Confident, we have our Cottontail, we have Ronin. If money was really, really tight, you go this route for 23 bucks. Okay, now if you can afford it, then you're definitely gonna wanna be looking for Little Peas on the eyes, because that's another one that having twice, it'll make a big difference. It's not as essential as the Confident twice, I would say. I think you really need the Confident to make sure you go into Fury form, but it's pretty close. Like if you have 2 of these, it's a huge boost from only having 1. However, the price starts to become quite steep. You're looking at 100 bucks at the midline. If you wanted to have Hero, Ronin, Cottontail, I mean, maybe if we take away the Hero and Ronin, some options. Nope, not really. This is basically what you're looking at if you want to go Little Peas. You can explore Little Peas up front as well with the Shiba, probably also going to be expensive, but if I was just to filter that, yeah, you're looking at $127 for really the first one that's playable, which is here with Earwing. I mean, for 20 more bucks, this is definitely a better option. This is actually a really nice looking Axie for its price point right now at 150. But those are just some things to think about. If you're on a super tight budget, just get something reasonable. It might not have Little Peas, so be it. Let's say you're trying to break into High Dragon or Challenger for the first time. I think you have a pretty nice shot of doing that even with this extreme budget version. And then on the back line, we definitely need Little Peas at least once. Your cheapest option here is $25, triple nut with Ronin on the back. The Imp is going to be nice too when you go into Fury form because it's free damage. And then if you can afford it, you just remove the Imp, you search for Arco instead, and it's 100 bucks. And this is definitely the more premium version between the two, but I like Imp. I like it. I like a free card when I'm in Fury form. It's nice, as we're gonna get to see in some replays in a second. And we also cannot forget, we need Reckless Hunter, we need 2 Pangolin Scales, we need 5 Mask of Frenzies, and if you add all of this up, including the 3 beasts, you're looking at a very solid team for 200 bucks. I think if you throw in another 100 to make sure that you have Little Peas a second time somewhere, you've got a really solid team. All right, we're gonna look at 2 replays really quickly before I wrap up this video. It's been a lengthy one already. So let's just jump right into it. We start with a Nutcracker. We put a Rage stack on our whole team. I'm showing a Poison here first, and then I'm going to show you one of the most popular aggressive builds out there, which is that Pango double Aqua, double Bloodlust. Now, if you're facing Poison and Sustain, you're just going to have a ball. It is so fun. You steamroll through these teams. I'm actually going to 2x this one to speed it up a bit. I'm playing my backliner cards. Pretty straightforward there. I don't want to hold the Dino, and that's all I can play. I want to actually just go ahead and get the damage in. Start to steamroll through this front. And for him, I mean, his plays are going to be pretty straightforward. It's spam poison for the most part. So let's slow down a little bit here. Little P's, you can see how we're starting to gain stacks across the board. This is the masks coming into play. We hit him with the carrot, we hit him with the Ronin. That's a dead Axie by turn 5. That's a lot of firepower, and now he's got 2 guys to my 3. But this guy ramps it up quickly. He plays the Gila. We drop to below half HP at the mid, 16 stacks, 9 on the back, 9 at the front. He's giving us a run for our money, and he has Malediction, so he takes 15% less damage. 6/6/4 on the stacks. I play an Imp, a Nyan, just use everything I can. The Zeal's irrelevant because I only have 2 cards left in my deck, but we're getting closer and closer to that Coup de Grace Fury form. Now here he plays his poison and shields the midline. Very standard. He's trying to buy as much time as possible. He does have vulnerable on him, so his Malediction's pretty much negated. Hello. Nice to see you, Rosa, Shiba. What a hand. Now, I don't want to play Shiba and go into Fury form here because I don't really have any firepower. I only have 1 Nutcracker card. That would actually be a pretty big mistake and could cost me the game. So instead, let's throw out the Rosa. Let's play our confidence on, I don't know, probably my front and back because my midliner is going to die. And then let's just hold on to the Shiba and the Nutcracker and go bananas in the next round. Here we can see that we slept the back. He does get a nice draw in that he can play Gecko, wake him back up, play Small Frill and Gila. He's really gonna bring as much pressure as possible. Now, if we don't close it out here, we might be in trouble. Look at how weak our Axies are getting. Okay, Nutcracker puts us up to 9 rage stacks. Another one puts us into Fury form, and this has just worked out perfectly. We have the Shiba to get the crit damage, 227, and 2 imps that are free because they're free when you're in Fury form. And that's the beauty of having a couple of those lying around. We snap off that back reptile, and we have a fairly smooth game. So next up, we're gonna look at Beast, Aqua, how this stacks up against it. Here you can see that I went on a tear. I was actually beating a ton of this composition, but as I said, then I started to not beat that team so much, so it was a little swingy. I mean, overall, we still have a very nice win percentage happening, definitely over 60%, which is great for Axie Infinity. But let's show one versus a pesky Beast, Aqua team that's just flooding the leaderboard, and this is the double Bloodlust variant with the bubbles. Absolutely terrifying. He's gonna fire away. And my first turn, I have Rosa and Ronin twice. Really not that great to throw this into the Beast. It's not going to do a lot of damage. I think I'd rather just play Zeal, pop Shiba up to the top of my deck, and let this thing sleep because maybe it will screw him up a bit and slow him down. Sure enough, he misses a Nemo here because he can't play Hair, so definitely worked out for us there, being a little more patient, not just throwing our cards and using all the energy. Shiba value, you love to see it. 5 rage stacks across the team. Yeah, I don't get to play some other things I would have liked to, like Little Peas, but you always play Shiba when it gets triggered. So he's doing what Aquas do, which is just stack a ton of bubbles and do a bunch of damage. So it looks like he's actually going to get the kill on my Pango Beast right away. We are certainly behind at this point. It's like when you're staring this down and you have 2 Axies left, it definitely feels bad. But let's see how we swing it around. Cactus, Little Peas, Carrot, Imp. Just going to go out, finish off this Beast. Now it's a 2v2, but he has the momentum. He's going to go with Risky Fish, Gil. The bubbles don't stop. He's got 2 stacks on his mid, so that's going to do 40 damage both to my plant and my Beast. But luckily the plant hangs on for one more round. What an ugly draw. So we have a Nutcracker, 2 swords, and the Dino, which I would have preferred to hang on to. But because I'm so far behind, I'm just going to grab another rage stack, play a sword, and even just play the Dino right here, right now, because I need to keep things moving along. I'm hoping for a big draw. Now, the one thing I have going for me is that he's killing everything so fast that it's my second deck rotation, and I have 10 cards left. Once he kills my plant, it's going to be mostly Beast cards. Like that, I should have a full clip. That's the plan at least. Here, it's not quite enough. He's got the 2 confused cards from playing all the Nemos. I'm down to 61 health. We need the Hail Mary, but there's 6 cards left. They're Beast cards. And now I get to go into Fury form where I can unleash everything. I've got the Imp to finish him off here at the mid. And then on the back lane, of course, we have to play Little Piece for max damage. Notice how I have 2 energy left. I have 1 hanging. I need to to return the card so that it counts as spending an energy, and this Ronin, which gains bonus damage from however much energy you spend, is going to do its maximum amount. It's just enough, 255. We get the kill. Beast goes absolutely crazy in the final round, and that's the beautiful thing about playing a rage comp, is that it can bail you out in games that seem unwinnable. It's so satisfying to just blast off on your opponent, and I had a great time playing it yesterday. I'll probably play it more today, but I do have other teams in mind. I'm not done yet. I'm not 100% sold on finishing with a beast. We're just gonna have to see. However, I hope this video helped you get some ideas. Maybe go out there, you know, buy a very affordable, playable rage composition. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.